Back now with another edition of our Money Monday, and today we are tackling one of the trickiest parts of any relationship, finances, and how do you manage them together?
Oh, I can hear the arguments already. Here to help us make sense of how couples can balance love and their bank accounts is the podcast host and New York Times bestselling author, by the way, behind the brand new book, Money for Couples, Ramit Sethi. Welcome, man, and good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So it's a conversation that most couples do not like to have. I'm not looking at you because I know you're very organized at home, but very organized. She said she actually checks her finances, once a quarter?
Once a quarter.
But how do we change the narrative and get like Eva when we grow up?
Well, I'll tell you what, most couples do not talk about money until there's a fight. Then they fight about it a little bit, they go to sleep, and they just wait for the next fight to happen about a month later. And that's because we think of money as something so negative. We're focused on $3 questions. Did you buy that coffee? Ooh, that was too expensive. Instead of $30,000 questions, the things that really matter.
Yeah, you say those $3 issues are not the problem. So what is the problem?
Well, we don't have a shared vision of a rich life. We only talk about money in a negative way. So every time we talk about money, it's like walking on eggshells. Ooh, what did I do wrong? What did you do wrong? And these $30,000 questions are the important things, like what is our savings rate? How much are we investing? What is the exact month and year that we will be debt free? Those are worth the time. The coffee is not going to change your financial life.
You also say we should look to the future and ask ourselves, what is our rich?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
What is our rich life? So when we think about money, for most of us, it is just a source of restriction. We can't do this, we can't do that. But I always start off by asking couples, what is your rich life? And typically they will say the same phrase, I want to do what I want, when I want. That's a boring answer. That's boring. I go, what do you want? And they just look at me stumped. They never actually thought about it. What I'm looking for are specifics. I want to take a family trip to Italy. I want to sit in this seat on the plane, and I want to sip an Italian coffee while watching the sunrise over the Colosseum. That is a specific vision, and you can create it together.
Oh, so interesting. You actually say to do what you call a rich life review. What is that?
This is the perfect time to do it right now, New Year. You do an annual Rich Life Review where you both sit down. And the first thing you do is you just pull out your phone and find 20 memorable photos of the last year. What really moved you? And send it to each other. Talk about it. Then you talk about what do we want to do more of this year and what do we want to do less of. And then finally, last of all, you get to the numbers. Notice that we are not starting with a spreadsheet. We're not starting with debt. We're starting with our vision. What's important to us? What do we want to spend more time and money on and less? And then you can use the money to live that rich life.
So what if your partner doesn't want to play along and participate?
It's very common, actually. The trick there is to totally recalibrate the way that you have a conversation about money. You can start off by having your first positive conversation. You just say, look, I know in the past when we've talked about money, it's been a little negative. Maybe I've been a little overbearing. I would love for us to reconnect over money and talk about what we want to do together. And if you can do that, if you tell them how you feel and how you want to feel, then all you have to do is decide when you're going to talk about money next and wrap it up.
We started this conversation, we were joking about how I do a quarterly review, but that was because I had no money. I made myself do that. So what do you do if you have no money? Because it's really hard to plan for dollars you don't have.
Yeah, well, this is so common for so many Americans. The important thing is you cannot simply play a reactive game. You can't play money on defense, which is how so many of us do it. Uh-oh, that expense came up. Uh-oh, my car has to get repaired. No, the trick is to go on offense and to say, okay, I know things are tight. Let's sit down and look at the next 12 months. What do we expect? This is when we have a birthday. This is when the car might need a repair. Let's plan it out now so that those unexpected expenses become expected.
The only time it feels good to be single is today. You can just worry about yourself a little bit. All right, Ramit Sethi, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And
I love your honesty.
Right? You can pick up Money for Couples wherever books are sold, or you can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen now to purchase a copy. I learned a lot from both of you guys. Yeah.